All right. Welcome to Ice Open Media. Okay, so a lot of you guys know about the London, Manchester. Well, not London, it's Manchester. Manchester, England attack. Okay, so a lot of you guys heard about it already. About 22 dead and many injured at the Aragon. What was her name? Grande, Miss Grande. Uh, what is her first name? Ariana. Is it Ariana Grande or something like that? Ariana, I believe. I don't know how to say her first name though. Correctly. Ariana Grande. I don't know. Um. Anyway, she's a pop star, whatever you want to call her. Okay, she was there at Manchester, England, and doing a huge concert, and many people went, and some terrorists, ISIS is claiming that they're the ones that are responsible for it. They go in there and they make it happen, and they explode things. Right now, some of you guys are already thinking, Ariana Grande, right? An Illuminati puppet, right? Hollywood star, right? Pop star. So and they lure innocent people or people that actually know, but don't care, they don't, they lure innocent people and other people that don't care about their, that what she is and what she represents and what this music represents. They don't care about that. They go into the concert, and the elites understand that, and the elites understand that UK, needs to be punished for leaving the European Union. So they see a big stage to send their funded, terrorist group, ISIS. We call them Daesh as well, to this area and then blow up things. And of course, immediately ISIS claims responsibility because that's what they want to do, right? They want to make sure the world knows that they're still powerful, even though they're getting their butts kicked in Iraq, right? And they're almost actually annihilated in Iraq here very soon. But they want to make sure the world understands that they're still powerful and they're coming for Europe. And then we've even talked about this. This is a prophecy from Prophetess Solomon about a year ago, I believe, or maybe a year and a half ago. She gave the word about a huge terrorist attack coming to the UK, and we talked about it. I did a video on it. I told the 365 crew as well that, watch out. There's a huge terrorist attack coming, according to Prophet Solomon, that the Lord showed her. And also, we also see it in the decodings because the UK left the Eurozone, okay, left the European Union. And when you do that, I told you guys on Currency 365, there's gonna be HELL to pay, and you guys, and I said here, you're gonna see the terrorist attacks because you gotta pay for leaving the EU. You can't just leave. It's like a prostitute leaving her pimp. You might free yourself, but there's gonna be repercussions for that, right? He might come and hunt you down. He might stalk you. He might send somebody to try to kill you. All types of things are gonna happen if you try to free yourself from a pimp. So the EU is a pimp to Europe, right? So when you leave that the way that the UK did, there's going to be craziness to pay, and what the EU can do is they'll take their funded groups and they'll just create mayhem in the UK, and the UK will just crumble under mayhem, and that's exactly what they plan on doing. Okay, they plan on doing more terrorist attacks, and they're basically going to crumble the UK down to their knees, where people are going to be so scared to do anything because there's going to be terrorist attacks happening all over. And one of the reasons why people kept telling, hey, close those borders in the UK and put strict things on those borders, so you're not flooding people from all over the world just to come into the UK. Close your borders, okay? Because this is gonna be crazy in the UK coming here. And also, at the beginning of the year, I told you guys that many Democrats and Republicans are going to, at the end of this year, are going to be saying, ah, man, you know what? I was against that wall being built. I was against the borders and stuff. But thank God Donald Trump did that, because look how crazy this world is right now. And that's how crazy the world's going to be. So We're seeing the terrorist attacks start. They're gonna intensify. By the end of the year, people are going to be saying, "Man, I should have never went at Donald Trump for that, for controlling the borders and trying to put a wall up to protect America, because all these other countries that are not protecting their citizens are being attacked, and crazy innocent lives are being shattered. Generations are being shattered." Children are losing their parents, and parents are losing their children, just because you want to open the world up to your country and not vet people properly, and just say everybody can come in at any time, and then boom, they hate you. You know, a lot of these people that are coming into these countries, they don't even like or respect the country. You know, they want to go in there and they want to destroy the country. Their job, a lot of these people that are coming into these countries, their job is to destroy the country. Their job is to milk the country to milk the government for assistance. Number one. Number two is then to just pollute the country. And number three is destroy the country, right? And then number four, or I don't even know what I'm on, number four, number five, is to change the culture of the country. So as more refugees come in, they change what London is about. They change what Manchester was about. They change the history of France. They change the history of Germany. They change what it's supposed to be about. And they remove the culture and the history, and they bring in their own ways, and they demand their own ways. And if they don't get it, they destroy everything. This is what's going on. This is the routine. And the fact that you got many people in America couldn't see that, it's even with all the evidence in the world, and even with me and other people breaking it down in simple terms, to still not be able to see that is mind-blowing to me. Like, what type of deception do you have over your eyes where you can't see that just letting anybody in to countries and not vetting them properly and intensively is dangerous to your life and your family's lives and other people's lives? Like, what don't you understand about that? And you're gonna have people today still saying it's not about the borders, it's not about vetting people, it's not about nothing, none of that matters. This was just a random thing. But apparently it's not a random thing, because it's happening almost every week now in Europe. When before it happened maybe once every 5 years, you know, now it's every week in Europe there's a terrorist attack. Soon it's going to be every day, because they're allowing all these people in that they're not checking, that they're not vetting. And then you got the big banksters, and you have the New World Order puppets telling the world and telling these Democrats and Republicans and all these people that, yeah, we're bringing in people to destroy the culture of the Western world so we can bring in the New World Order. Even with them saying this, people still have no problem with letting anybody into and saying Donald Trump's an idiot for protecting our borders. Even when Kissinger says we want to flood the borders in so we can destroy America's culture, destroy the Western world's culture, destroy Europe's culture, and bring in a New World Order. Even when Kissinger says that, these people will go back and write on their Facebook page, I can't believe we're closing our borders, or we have tight control over our borders and stuff. But yet there's bombings going on everywhere. There's rape is up thousands of % in Sweden because of refugees coming in. Then they call them the migrants, or whatever you want to call them. Rape is up tremendously. All these things, all crimes up, rapes up. All these things are up in Europe tremendously. But yet people are on Facebook talking about, man, you know, we shouldn't close borders. We should keep our countries open. Yeah, while rape and until you're raped, until you're murdered, until you're, until you get a terrorist attack on you or your family, then you'll say, oh man, we need to close the book. So basically these people are saying, until it happens to me and my family, or somebody close to me, I don't care about it. Just keep the borders open. Who cares? It's not my family. That's stupid. That's so stupid, because you're asking for it. You're asking for it. And another thing you're asking for is this. Look at this picture. These guys are, police officers in military uniforms. This was never the case, right? This was never the case. You go all the way back to the 1970s and 60s and 50s and all the way back to the 18. You never seen none of this. You never seen police looking like military. But because of the open borders and because of the globalists, we have police dressed as military men, and now it's going to get worse where police are going to look like this 24/7, and they're going to be walking the streets. They're going to be in uniform, in these types of uniforms now 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, at the malls, at carnivals, at places, just all, maybe even in churches and mosques, all types of stuff, right? They're going to look like this 24 hours. That's what's coming. Why? Because the borders are open, because terrorists is up 1,000% in the last 10 years. And that's because you kept your borders open and you let everybody in without vetting them properly and checking where they come from in their background. So so you allow them into the country, and then they create the harm. But if you vet people properly and you don't allow these people to come in. And so now we're going to be harassed by people look like this. This is what's next. You're going to have police officers dressed in military and 24/7 walking the streets, Humvees, martial law. All these things are coming because there's terrorist attacks and the borders are open in Europe. And then, of course, eventually that's going to be America as well. But right now we have Trump. That's allowing us to buy time, and so we thank God for that, because if Hillary was in there, our borders would be wide open, and she planned. This is incredible. Like, they planned on bringing in estimated about 100 million refugees into America. That was her plan. 100 million. Do you know what 10 million refugees would do to our economy? Do you know what 1 million refugees has done to our economy and to our life? Especially you guys that are colored people that can't even find jobs, or you guys that are white and you can't find jobs because it's going to some person that is illegal. So can you imagine 100 million refugees it would be complete chaos. But that's what Hillary Clinton wanted. Hillary Clinton wanted to bring 100 million refugees into the country within the next 8 years, or whatever her time frame was going to be. And Obama was backing that, and everybody was backing that, because guess what? They all want the New World Order. And yet people love this woman. People love Obama. People still love Obama even today. People, if you say anything bad about Obama, your video will be disliked still. They will hate on you. They won't even speak to you. But yet we have 8 years. We have 8 years to look at what Obama did. I was watching the YouTube channel, Dr. Common Sense. He went out to the streets and he was asking people about Obama and Trump, and the people who hated Trump, which is fine. You can hate. You can do whatever you want. You can have your own opinion. But they were talking about Obama. Some of these people were saying, "Oh, yeah, I thought Obama did an okay job." And then he asked them the question, "What did he do? Like, name me 3 things that Obama did that was great." They could not one of them couldn't. I think one person said one thing, like he brought his image. His image. That's not what president's supposed to be. A president's image means nothing to a country, nothing to poor people, nothing to the economy, nothing to the stock market, nothing to anything. His image. And that's what I was trying to tell you guys, that you people that like Obama only like him because of his image. That's it. You don't know anything about what he done. You don't have any clue what he's done. And he has signed so many evil executive orders, and you have no clue about them. And I told you, you're going to see them in the future, because they are going to come out, okay, after Trump's gone. Whenever Trump leaves, those executive orders that Obama signed are going to come back to us tenfold. So you better be ready, because America is going to be in a crazy position once Trump leaves. And we're going to buy time with Trump. So, but once Trump leaves, it's a wrap. Even when Trump's here, it's going to be a wrap. We're going to see a lot of crazy stuff happen. Okay. But once again, this man went out in the streets, and Obama fans could not even tell the guy one thing that they even liked about him, or that he did well for the country. Some dude said, well, at the end of his presidency, he freed a whole bunch of people. So that was pretty cool. That's what he said. That's all he could think about. But then yet they were like, well, wait a minute. He freed a lot of people that were in prison, but did he vet those people? Like some of those people are probably doing crimes right now because they can't work, because there's no jobs. So you release 20,000 people or 50,000 people in your last year, which is cool. You released it, but what type of job are they going to get? They're felons. Most of these people are felons. So they don't have jobs. So now here they are, 50,000 people are in the streets, back to robbing, stealing, and killing, and drugging, and dealing, because there's no opportunity for them. You see how that makes it even worse now for actual citizens when you release these people, but they don't have jobs and stuff, and then now they have to defend and for themselves and eat. They probably don't have, a lot of these people don't have family members, or the family members are gone, and or maybe another state, and you release these people back into society. So now Chicago crime is 100 times up, and so it's just bad, man. It's just bad. And we've seen it coming. We talked about it. Prophetess Solomon talked about it. She saw it coming. The Lord showed it to her, and we talked about it. And here it is, right? 22 dead, and a whole bunch of people injured. And they chose to do it with Ariana Grande. Unfortunately, she was the one they picked. And I wouldn't even put it past them that they told her that this was going to happen. I would not even be. A lot of times they don't, because they're just puppets, right? They're not actually part of the Illuminati. They're puppets to the Illuminati. So a lot of these people don't even know. Like, they do know, but they don't know at the same time, right? They don't realize they're being played until the end. Like Kanye went crazy because he found out he was being played. Like, I don't know how. What took so long, because he did tell people on stage in front of the whole world that he sold his soul to the devil. It was a cheap deal, right? So he knows he sold his soul. He knows he took the oath. They know all this stuff. But sometimes though, they get into this deception where they don't really realize that they're being played to the highest level. Even when they sell their soul to Baphomet, or take the oath of Baphomet, or sell their soul in blood, they still think that, when one day I can change and I can come out of that and go back to God. Let me just get this money right now. And that's when the devil usually destroys them, right? When the devil sees that they want to go back to God, he'll end you, or he'll destroy your career. So Ariana Grande, she might not have any clue that they were going to do this to her. Or she might know, just like, remember back in the day when Prince knew about 9/11, and he was over here, he was over in England, in the UK, and I think it was in the UK, or he was in Singapore or something like that. I can't remember, but there's a video on YouTube. You can go check it out, where Prince is talking about they about to fly some planes into the building. I need to get back to America. And you know how Prince talk. He talk all. He was talking. He's gone now. Of course, he died, but. You know how he used to talk. He used to talk, real feminine and stuff like that. So, but he was like, he was telling the crowd, I need to get back to America because they about to fly these planes into the buildings. So they tell these people some things, and some things leak. Maybe their handlers let them know some things as well. Sometimes things leak, depends on how high you up, in the pyramid, So, I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't know anything, but I also wouldn't be surprised if she knew everything and she's playing along with it. Okay. But a lot of times they don't know, and it's their handlers and everybody else involved in it that make the thing happen. And a lot of times they don't know. Okay, but sometimes they do. So I don't know if she knew or not. You can take that to God, and God will let you know if she knew or not. He'll give you the answer if you want that answer. Anyways, so yeah, so this is this is the world we live in now. As you guys can see, how rapidly it has changed, and you can only imagine the next 10 years, right? You can only imagine what's going to look like the next 10 years. I mean, my goodness gracious. I mean, can you imagine going? I mean, I can, go back to 2000, go back to 2000, and look how our lives were, and just think about how your life was new. And now look at 2017, and this is what we see now: police dressed as military, combat military members. And now guess what the next 17 years is going to look like. It's going to be these type of guys in this type of uniform, even more intelligent uniforms, uh you know 24/7 with Humvees in the streets, in the neighborhoods, walking around, fully loaded weapons, kill at will for anybody that tries to run away from them, or whatever the case may be. Microchips, all type. I mean, my goodness gracious, what the next 17 years is going to look like. I mean, get ready, people. I mean, this is crazy. That's really much it, man. I mean, I can talk all day long, but we get the point. So just pray for these people, and even if it was a terrorist attack, false flag, whatever the case may be, just pray for these people. And yeah, man, it's just gonna be this is a common thing now. So I think the reason why it's getting a lot more play is because it was 22 that died, and it was Ariana Grande concert. So and people took to social media immediately about it and blew it up. But we've seen other places where 22 died and they get no news. You got places where 50 people died in a terrorist attack and they get no news. So it all depends on what the Zionist media want to put out there and what people on social media want to make famous, right? You know, we could have a 30 man killing tomorrow in Ghana and no one talks about it. So it all depends on the media and the Zionist media and what they want to push. So they want to push this because it's coded. Okay, and we will decode it definitely, but it's coded, and it's coded for a reason. That's why they're pushing it, and also it's letting the UK know that you coming out of the EU was a bad mistake, because we're gonna terrorize the crap out of you. The pimp is back, and we're giving you a pimp slap. That's basically what they're saying. All right, guys, eyes open. God bless you. Stay safe, and man, crazy world we live in, man. Crazy world. Eyes open.